What's up, everybody? My name is Tyson Roush, and this is a video recap of the David Goggins challenge that I did on March 22nd to the 24th of 2024. The Goggins challenge is 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. I stepped it up a notch, made it 5, so I actually did 60 miles in 48 hours. Get a lot of questions about it, like the preparation, the training, how it went. So I figured make a video about it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll go through and answer them all. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for your overwhelming support throughout this challenge, which is also a fundraiser. On social media, as you go, part of the challenge is every 5 miles, you post your update on social media, and the encouragement and the love that was shared, it was incredible. And thank you to my family and friends, a lot of my training partners, this channel, Let's Talk Jets. It was overwhelming, and we ended up raising $4,300 for the Disabled American Veterans Group, Chapter 20. And that's amazing, man. And like in the fundraising side of it, there's so many people that are suffering in silence. I'm trying to raise awareness to it. We made the shirts, and I want to also help our veterans too that are also suffering in silence. So that aspect of it was incredible. I cannot thank you enough. In terms of the challenge itself, the preparation is not easy. I do a lot of cardio. I also box and kickbox. So in terms of cardio, I do at least 3 or 4 days a week. 1 day a week, I do a very long run. It's usually my Sundays, where my shortest run is 6 miles, and I can go up to anywhere to 10, 11 miles. Do a lot of elliptical. If I did the elliptical, it was at least an hour, up to an hour and a half. I also box and kickbox. That's where my eye came from today. Don't drop your hands when you spar. But it was a lot of training, very strict diet. I actually did some meal prep, and then I just wiped out a lot of the bad foods, wiped out the alcohol, a lot of fruits, vegetables, protein, a lot of lean proteins, and that was it. You just kind of scale down, and just a lot of water, just a lot of hydration. And that's where you go, and you go into it. And the challenge with this fundraiser, to be honest with you guys, this challenge was 3 weeks out, I got hurt. I hurt my knee sparring kickboxing, which kind of really made me nervous in terms of how I'm going to prepare for this, because you don't know, I couldn't really run. I was doing acupuncture, cupping, stretches, all kinds of stuff. So I had to kind of taper that back. And then the week of, like the Thursday before, I started on a Friday, I got a stomach virus, and that kind of dehydrated me. So mentally, I was, you almost kind of check out a little bit. Like, how the hell am I going to do 60 miles when I'm worried about my leg and I felt like death? So mentally, it is the ultimate mental challenge, because the way it works is you run 5 miles. I started at 5 o'clock. You run 5 miles. The next one is at 9 o'clock. So if it takes you an hour or an hour and a half to run, you don't push it back. It's like your rest is contingent on how fast or how long it takes you to complete it. And for the most part, I took this slow and steady approach, where I was shooting for 10-minute miles. Obviously you run a lot faster than that, but I'm like 10-minute miles, slow and steady. Don't burn yourself out, and just kind of keep getting through it. But the X factor through all of this was the weather, and the weather that weekend was miserable. It started out cold and windy, and then Saturday was just monsoon rain the entire day. And I'm not talking about like, oh, it rained and stopped. It literally poured all day, running in puddles, running in wind, running all kinds of stuff. And the problem that I had is that you try to dress accordingly, but the more layers you wear, like I sweat a lot, the more you sweat. And I became severely dehydrated. And there's moments like that where you're ready to check out. You're like, my body's shutting down. I can't do it. Throughout the entire time, I'm eating fruit, energy gels. I'm eating pancakes. You're just trying to just replenish your body as much as you can. But I couldn't overcome the amount of sweat I was doing, and the rain just wouldn't stop. And it's just wearing you down. You're not getting a lot of sleep. From Friday to Sunday, I got maybe 7 hours of sleep, maybe 8. So mentally, you're tired. Physically, you feel yourself tired, and you feel your body cramping up, and just, I was shaking at one point. At one point, I was having a conversation. I wasn't even making sense. And you're like, man, like, how do you get through this? And you're just like, push through it. And it's very difficult. It's not easy. If you're going to try it yourself, definitely train for it, but prepare your mind for it. And you just got to focus, like, I want to get this done. I want to keep pushing it. And the one thing, if you read Goggins' books, and it's so damn true, and I've been through this 3 times already, is your body, you feel like your body is shutting down. And if you keep pushing forward, there's a point where it's like your body just stops pushing back at you. And I hit that point Saturday night where I was dehydrated, I was shaking, I felt miserable. I did my first 30 miles outside. I did 20 inside because the weather was so bad. I was like, I was getting a little nervous that I was going to maybe not collapse, or just something was going to go wrong. I'm like, I got to be safe here. did the last 10 miles outside. That late Saturday night, I was there, man. I was like, you know what? I did good. I raised a lot of money. I was like, you know, maybe I just don't finish this. And then you're like, just one more. Let me try another mile and see where you go. And so I got through that 1 o'clock in the morning one. The 5 o'clock in the morning one, I'm like, all right, let's just go for this. And it's just, I'm here. Like, you're that close. You're 15 miles away. You're like, let me just see if I can just get through this. And my body was cramping up. And the more I went, all of a sudden it was like, you know what? The cramping was going away. And it was just remarkable where it's like, it was literally mind over matter. Now, granted, there are some times where your health is at a risk and you don't want to like put yourself in a hospital, but it was like, you just kind of want to push it a little bit. And the craziest thing was my last 5 miles was probably one of my fastest ones of the whole thing. Cause I was like, wow, your body just felt rejuvenated. You're like, this is crazy. Like, also you're obviously excited because you're like, hey, I'm here, I made it. But you truly go through it. And I'm telling you, your mind, the mental fatigue and the mental battles you have with yourself when it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you know you got another 20-something miles to go or 30-something miles to go, and you're like, how am I going to do this? You doubt yourself, and it is so easy to quit. It's easy to quit because all you say is, you know what? I'm done. That's it. And you're like, and you just don't want to do that, right? So, I mean, it's a wild experience that mentally and physically, it's just, you'll test every facet of yourself. So I guess, and that's it. I guess if you have any comments or feedback, I'd love to hear from what you say. But I think the one thing I learned from all this, if you truly put your mind to it and make a commitment to yourself where you're like, you know, I really want to accomplish whatever this task is, you can do it. It may not be, you know, you may not be a world champion sprinter or Olympian or whatever else, but if you keep your goals realistic and somewhat achievable or attainable, you can do it. Just train for it, prepare for it. And if you face adversity, adjust. And that's the most important thing. Like you know, one of the things I do now, like I run year round, snow, rain, cold, wind, don't really care. And you do that because I do a lot of races, and race day is not gonna always be 70 degrees, sunny, and no wind. You're always gonna deal with some kind of consequence, some kind of, you know, condition. So you wanna be used to it. And I run in rain, and not rain like I dealt with last weekend or whatever it was, 2 weekends. I think it was last weekend. So you just got to, once you hit that adversity, you got to adjust to it and figure it out. Instead of doing 10-minute miles, I'm like, all right, this is going to be a 12-minute mile because I just can't push it. It's not smart. It's not going to work out for me. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you for all your support. An incredible experience. You know, if you're a runner or like just some kind of athlete that wants to try new things and experience new things, try it out. And don't forget the fundraising aspect of it too, because it's a really good way to get attention and put really a lot of focus on a cause that you believe in. And that's it. Have a good day.